Hello, Dota 2 fans, and welcome to another edition of More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 casters, casting some viewer-requested games. Appreciate the overwhelming amount of support you guys have given me throughout this endeavor. Got, I'd say, about 60 more games to get through at this point, so chunking away at them one at a time, and hopefully I can get them. This one submitted by shady25111 over on Reddit. So, gonna speed through the draft here, guys, before we get into the game. Hopefully there's something of value here to draft, but who really knows in pub games? We'll see how this one ends up panning out. First pick, Spectre, no surprise. 6.86 stuff. OS Frog, please, but either way. Gonna be a solid one. The roaming bounty gonna be picked up by the dire side, and that is more than likely, I want to say, yeah, that is our feature player of the day. Shady going to be picking up the Bounty Hunter, aptly named on the Bounty Hunter. Spectre and Sven on the same team, so one of these is going to end up in the offlane or in a support role. We'll see what ends up happening. That had to have been a random, I want to say. Anti-Mage TA, a lot of strong physical damage on the other side. AM's going to need a babysitter in lane more than likely for this to fare well. Bounty Hunter roam early on should be pretty good. Seeing that Vengeful Spirit, not the greatest poke in lane, so that lane seems susceptible to some Bounty Hunter rotations. TA mid with the traps, Bounty should be good on top of that. And it is going to be more than likely versus an Alchemist. There's a roaming Pudge as well, so maybe Pudge takes towards the off lane early on, and we will see one more support given over towards this anti-mage. Other than that, it's going to be anti-mage solo up in the safe lane, which is certainly not going to be an easy time for Franz Gadia over there. So we'll see what the last pick is for either side. But thus far, pretty decent Roche lineup. Acid Spray, Wave of Terror, Warcry over on the Radiant side. So they'll be able to retreat into the pit a little bit easily. They've got the Natural Order to come out as well. And ET is not a pick we see all that often, guys, so that's an interesting one. But either way, we'll see how it ends up faring for them. Of course, there's the Meld Strike on the other side. Certainly both sides are pretty capable of doing Roche. You see the late extra gold here on the ET, so it does seem to be a 5th pick random for that Elder Titan. And it's essentially the lane that they needed in the off lane. So it looks like the Sven probably will be supported, or maybe he goes up alongside the ET to farm in that off lane. But this is going to mean the Spectre only has a Vengeful Spirit with her, so going to be rough times. And I mean, Bounty Hunter, for that reason, should have a pretty good time throughout this game. So we'll see how ZFY fares, or Shady. Other than that, it's going to be Warthug picking up the Necrophos for his team. Perhaps this is a jungle Necrophos. Has item first item boots, so could be taking towards that off lane. We'll see what the Pudge, his role ends up being. Star, of course, as any Pudge player wants to be seen as, is going to be playing on the Putka, and we're going to have Franz Gadia on the Anti-Mage. It's going to leave ZFY, as already mentioned, on the Bounty Hunter. We've got fuck you, middle finger, whatever you want to call that, on the Spectre, and really everyone else should be saying that to the Spectre, considering he's a Spectre picker. But either way, Skuda Klee is going to catch a magic missile to the face, but Warthug is nearby. He's got the Heartstopper aura, so no Death Pulse to heal him up. But that means that the Bounty Rune is going to be secured with the Grievel's Greed, and the hook is going to whiff. But for the Radiant side, towards that mid lane already, we've got APS picking up the Alchemist. He's going to be accompanied, for now, blocking up his lane by Rancho on the Vengeful Spirit, who does have a salve. We'll need to get back to lane. ZFY, though, already harassing down the Spectre early on in this one. And I mentioned in the draft how susceptible this lane is going to be to the Bounty Hunter. The Vengeful Spirit currently sitting mid at this point, so you on the Sven is all by his lonesome. Skills up Cleave at level 1. That's an interesting build. And he's going to be against this defensive tri-lane as it is. And there is an AFK Elder Titan in the fountain. Just pub things, folks. Sven already body blocked up, being right-clicked into. And that's going to be the end of it for now, as there's no mana for a hook shot. There's a Heartstopper aura at level 1 on a Boots First Necro. So interesting skill to item build here. ZFY taken towards the offlane by his lonesome, and the Spectre is alongside him. They're traded up at 2-0, both of them on CS. You trying to soak up some experience from the side pull here, and Supports are nearby. Warthog, you cannot trade this early on. The right clicks at least without your Death Pulse, so he'll have to back himself up. ZFY getting quite a bit out of this lane, sitting on level 3 already. Rancho has accompanied the Sven to try and help him secure some farm here. And wow, the Hadouken, the Shockwave from the Satyr is going to connect onto Warthog, so he's not in the healthiest of shapes right now. And he's going to try and be able to bring this down. He does expend the Storm Bolt just for that last hit there. Mid lane, wow. APS up on the high ground, but the refraction is there. This Alchemist could be in certain trouble here, but now the Acid Spray. Does Scuda really want to walk through this? Turn right click. There it is. APS. Nicely played. Using the high ground and the minus armor from the Acid Spray to take out that refraction, and the TA probably should have backed off as soon as that Acid Spray was dropped, but it's a little overconfident. Walks up the hill. Feeds the first blood. Hookshot top lane is going to whiff. And right now, Franz Gadia 9-0 sitting atop the board, but Yu's tying him up on the Sven, so laning decision thus far for the Sven has been alright. Elder Titan still AFK, guys. The heck kind of game have you given me, Shady? I hope he returns and this isn't just a 4v5 all day, because it wouldn't be quite as impressive. Bot lane. Oh, the Shuriken. He throws it onto a creep as the dagger comes out. Wouldn't have gave him kill potential on the Spectre either way, sitting at only level 2, but would have at least backed her off. And not having track up just yet, that Shuriken is not going to bounce. Arcane Root on the Pudge. He does want to expend the hook here if he can. Oh, and he whiffs. Juked out by Yu. Fortunate for the Pudge and the Cleave. Gonna do some right clicking onto Warthog. Anti-Mage still sitting near the wave farming here, and bot lane continually trading with the Orb of Venom. ZFY feels like he maybe needs a Stout Shield to continue to trade with the Spectre, but got the Genotic clicks. He's got the Invis if needed. He's still got a rune, or a ward, excuse me, in the inventory that he is yet to drop, but soaking a lot of experience here. Gonna pick up his level 5 relatively soon, and track is gonna be excellent for them to have to chase down some of these tankier targets like the Sven, and even during Chemical Rage, the Alchemist. So Spectre gonna rotate out of lane. She'll find her level 5 with this bounty rune. Has a ring of regen as well. No boots just yet though, so this is gonna be somewhat costly in terms of her losing out on CS, and it seems like perhaps a full wave missed out by the Spectre. She is sitting atop the board alongside her Sven with 16 CS at this point, but still, rotation to the top lane is the invisibility rune. Will fill the bottle or the Alchemist, and Spectre will wait out the second bounty rune bottom, so Alchemist will not be able to secure that bounty rune. Will be able to soak up some XP. Meanwhile, they do find the Vengeful Spirit top, and I guess the one good thing about this is we can do this. Check out what happens to Venge. She's rotating up towards that top lane. Give it another 10 seconds. As they secure the bounty runes, as mentioned, Rancho gonna jump forward, looking to find the creeps here. Death Pulse is only level 1 at this point. Rancho looks to drop a ward, and now she's a little bit susceptible to the rotations in from the Pudge. Hook is level 2. Rancho pretty deep here. She will expend the magic missile. The Death Pulse is there to heal up as well. Fairy Fire is utilized. Now the Pudge rotating in. Hookshot is gonna land. The Rot will secure the kill. Used continuing to go forward. Needs to be a little bit careful here, but he'll be able to back out safely. And second hook shot, not enough mana for that. Mid lane Alchemist starting to farm up once again. TA not having the best time, but does have the 16 CS. Does have that one death as we saw earlier. So scores squared up at 1. At this point, ZFY, he's gonna eclipse that level 6 mark fairly soon and find his track, which is going to be really nice. Psionic Traps to come out soon as well. Chemical Rage, as you can see, already active on the Alchemist, so timings are relatively even. He's going to go aggressive here. Does not have the Unstable Concoction. He's getting blocked up by the creeps, in fact. Has 1100 gold, and perhaps a set of boots here would help him out. A full set of boots, that is, but with the Chemical Range, feeling pretty confident, and maybe could have even gone for that dive. Barring TP rotations, probably would have worked out pretty well for him. Bot lane, Spectral Dagger, not enough mana just yet, as she is opting for the max Spectral Dagger build, and There's a Shadow Walk here, so ZFY should feel just fine either way. But he's going to get a big wave of experience underneath this tower as the Haunt is skilled up. Top lane, hookshot is going to whiff. Star looking for Rancho again. Has the Rot there. Magic Missile is going to connect onto the Pudge. There's a Stormbolt as well. It connects onto 2. And they get the Wave of Terror off as well, so doing extra physical damage here. Blink back from the Anti-Mage. There's a Death Pulse as well from the Necro, and he will back off the aggression. EA returning towards the mid lane. ZFY continuing to trade with the Spectre bot, and as the level 6 and now almost level 7. Perhaps there's been a little bit of pulling from the ET, who has finally left base sitting on level 1. A sure advantage for the dire side in terms of experience at this point. Oh, they will secure the bounty rune with the Pudge, but he's in certain danger now. Sonic Trap will be there, but the Haunt comes through, and he'll deny himself. Nicely played by the Pudge, so wasted Haunt already. She doesn't reality back to the bot lane. Skuta perhaps in a bit of trouble. Has Refraction in 2 seconds and bottles up. Should be just fine. TP rotations in from you as well. It's getting a little deep. Now should see the Sven on the units, and we'll be able to back off at least to her high ground. TP rotations in from 2. That's the Pudge, as well as ZFY's Bounty Hunter. They've got the track up. Level 3 Shuriken as well, so baiting coming in from the TA. Don't want to get hit by the Stormbolt for the Bounty Hunter. Drops through the Shuriken, does connect onto the Spectre. Hookshot is going to be onto the TA defensively. ZFY diving deep for this one. Needs another right click. Will he get it? He will. He'll get killed off by the tower in the meantime. Skuta in a little bit of trouble. Gets right click by the tower. Has a Refraction up. Be just fine. It ends up being a 1-0 in this mid lane in terms of a hero kills. The Bounty Hunter does go down to the Dire, so experience will be split for that and gold as well. Take a look at the net swings. It's a little bit of an advantage for the Dire side, being that they get the Spectre 1 position for the offlane Bounty Hunter, and also that they do get the last hit on the Bounty Hunter there. So track gold as well factoring in. Phase boots up now on ZFY, and mid lane Star going to be soaking some experience as the Elder Titan did bottom. And APS, he buys a Fit booster early on here. So more than likely in towards that Octarine core, being that he's an alchemist, but at this level, no real telling what the item build is. Hell, it could be a Rod of Athos. Bounty Hunter's rotating top lane. Psionic Trap is their mid. APS sitting on 1000 HP though, feels pretty tanky at this point. 8 minutes, okay. EA got scared by her own Pudge and is going to pop the trap. But it's her own Pudge. She'll pick up the invisibility rune. Top lane, you in a bit of trouble now as ZFY rotates in. They have no mana void actually. Holding onto a skill point maybe? Yeah, 1 level in the stats, so holding onto a skill point. Stormbolt is going to connect on a couple, but they've rotated in with 4 heroes now. Meld Strike's going to be there. It's a big kill. It's a big rotation as well, expended out. So there's a lot of farming going on elsewhere. There are definitely trades for the Radiant side, but Sven worth quite a bit. Gives a nice bounty of roughly 150 XP over to 4 heroes, and they can look to push into this tower now. Necro is dangerously low at this point and doesn't really have mana for Death Pulse. And bottom lane, Unit Wave is pushing in, so they will look to at least TP1 over to this bot lane. It's going to be the Anti-Mage doing some farming. In terms of the TP situation for the Radiant, they've got 2 TPs, Elder Titan and the Sven. Sven will expend his, so they look to defend this. Hookshot is immediately there. There's a right click, but the Stormbolt will connect onto 2. And there's no Melt Strike. Haunt through onto the Pudge, and the Dagger will find the kill. Meanwhile, down below, Rancho duking it out with the Vengeful Spirit. You and the Spectre going to be chased off. Couple more right clicks. It's going to be a big battle. The Fairy Fire will not need to be the difference, but will be there just in case. ZFY going to find his 3rd kill of the game. 3-1-0 on the Bounty Hunter. It's another track kill. 1,500 gold onto the Bounty. Mid lane, APS a little bit deep behind enemy lines. Has that Chemical Rage up though. So feeling pretty confident at this point, and as he should. There's no disable from the TA, but Chemical Rage is going to expire now. She's going to walk through the Acid Spray, look to right click. The track is there. Skuta needs to be careful. She's taking a lot of damage from this Acid Spray. ZFY just going to come in and feed. Essentially, Hookshot though will land. That'll secure the kill. Elder Titan coming through. Does have 2 levels in the Echo Stomp, but no mana to use it. Meanwhile, you and the Middle Finger are going to be pushing up towards the top lane. So they get the Alchemist. little bit of a confident reaction there from the bounty hunter. Now the Elder Titan in trouble. He will catch the stomp onto 2. Is able to stick up. Has not enough mana though for the TP. Jump forward. Mana Void is available, but the blink is a little bit off, and the Psionic Trap is there, and they've been juked by 50 Cent. Curtis Jackson knows how to run these streets, and he'll be able to find himself a little nook in the alleyway there. You gonna be tracked up top lane. ZFY in a little bit of trouble. No mana for a Stormbolt. If he tread swap though, you will be close to having it. And they just want the last hit on this tower. Shuriken is there. One more right click from the tower finds the kill for ZFY. As they were duking it out, the aggro goes towards him. Shuriken in 1 second can cancel a TP if he's in range. There's still a track here. Hook shot mid lane is gonna find Rancho. Rancho in trouble. Magic missile. It will get it off, but he'll be able to rock walk him down. Meanwhile, top lane, they have the Necro ult. Need to throw out a Shuriken, though. And they are just stalking this Spectre, who's going to have enough mana for a TP in 1 mana. We'll go for it. Does ZFY have the Shuriken? He doesn't. So, only the track vision, not giving you really enough to know that that's happening. Just giving you the location of the hero, essentially. And they're unable to cancel that TP. Scooter is going to walk through the acid spray once again, but he will be able to meld up. Stun is still going to connect on him. The hook shot is going to whiff. They have the Dismember available, though, and the Haunt is actually going to come through. Star is in a little bit of trouble. He is going to get the deny off, though. Now Scooter in a bit of trouble. The Chemical Rage is there. It's going to keep APS healthy, but they don't want to dive underneath the tower. The Bounty Hunter rotates in. The Meld Strike is going to miss as Scooter walks it off. Refraction comes out once again. Meld Strike is there if he wants it. He is going to connect with it this time. And with the Psionic Trap Slow and the track movement speed, Spectre in a bit of trouble, but Vengeful Spirit going to rotate in. The dagger now comes out. Refraction is up in 5 seconds. She's going to meld up. Of course, no Radiance at this point in the game, but there is an Acid Spray. She will now back off. Magic Missile is there, but the Refraction is going to soak up that damage. Acid Spray will look to burn it out immediately. Warthog now going to rotate through on the Necrophos. And looks like all aggression will be stymied for now. Hookshot, though, it's going to land. He finds the Vengeful Spirit, gets Magic Missiled up immediately, but the Necro ult will bring down the Venge. That's extra respawn time for her. 53 seconds in. Now Scooter rotating around with the double damage room, but the dagger will secure the retreat of the Spectre. And the Alchemist going to rotate through as well. Echo Stomp bot lane. Probably not going to net anything on this Anti-Mage. Has a Mana Void as well, burning all the mana out from 50, but he's going to Arcane up. He's recovered nicely for having been AFK. He's got more net worth than the Pudge at this point. ZFY rotating through, has the Shuriken as well as the track available. Level 4 Shuriken, so I mean, it's a sure kill if they are able to aggress towards this Elder Titan. Rotation through. Janata Strike is there. Shuriken track as well. Shuriken will cancel the Echo Stomp. Mana Void is there. Nicely executed by that tandem of the Anti-Mage. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's no Necro ult yet. Death Pulse will chase down APS. He's got the Chemical Rage, though, and more than likely will be fine. Looks like he's going to rush that Radiance and just a casual Vit booster for now. Probably will be able to get that into a Octarine Manta at some point, but bot lane track is there. Stormbolt level 2 available. ZFY throws out the Shuriken, and Yu is just going to stand there and accept his fate. And the Bounty Hunter finding a lot of momentum in this one. 5-2-2 on ZFY. And looking pretty good. 10-4 is your score, 14 minutes in. Net worth pretty heavily dominated by the dire side, considering there's an Alchemist on the other side. I mean, the mechanic of this hero, much like a Meepo in experience, he wants to be well ahead of you at any given point in the game in net worth. So the Alchemist, not that he's doing poorly, but hasn't really farmed up to his potential at this point. Unstable Concussion going to be thrown out. Wave of Terror is there. Psionic Trap from the low ground. Nicely placed by the TA. Is going to keep them at bay. Shuriken's going to come through. It's not going to bounce as Rancho was just out of range. ZFY going to catch a Magic Missile to the face. Dagon is there, though. And Rancho in a lot of trouble. Level 1 Dagon up there for ZFY. Couple right clicks from Warthog will finish off that Vengeful Spirit. Meanwhile, Spectre doing a little bit of split P top lane. He's got a pretty big wave with him, and there's yet to be any we're going to see this once again, folks. There's yet to be any response, I was going to say, to that split push top lane. Not sure how the Alchemist dies here. I mean, right after his teammate goes down, he walks into vision, gets hooked up. Shuriken is there as well. He's dismembered. Stable Concoction unable to be thrown out, and ZFY finds another kill, 6-2-3 on the bounty. More than likely assembled to see a little bit of a push mid lane, but there is an ET here who's got some great D push. Echo Stomp will connect onto 2. He's going to get aggressed upon though, and is tracked up. Sonic Trap is there to slow him down. Scuda alongside him. He's going to throw out the Earth Splitter, and it's going to connect onto the TA. Does quite a bit of damage, but there's no follow-up just yet. Shuriken getting bounced through from the unit. Hook shot is there. Star starting to find his momentum here. Dagger comes out. It's going to whiff completely on 2 targets from the Spectre, and it's going to be essentially a wasted haunt. They still had a tier 1 available. They could have TP'd in the Venge to the tier 1 perhaps and looked to assist her in chasing down these targets, but doesn't seem to be the case. You is AFK. Radiant has the AFK plague, it seems, but yeah, at this point Dire side really starting to take an advantage. Battle Fury up on the Anti-Mage. Level 2 Dagon. Level 3 Dagon up for the Bounty Hunter at this point. 13-4. Feels like it's going to only get tougher. Boots of Travel come out before the Radiance, actually. Or the Alchemist, which is interesting. He was saving about 3,000 gold before he died mid lane. But looks like he'll just stop off for the bots at this point to try and avoid the fights. Try and get some split push done. Shove out some waves with the acid spray. Blink Dagger is going to be up for the TA, so really feels like the timing window right now, 16 minutes in, is being hit by the Dire side, and Yu is still sitting in base on the Sven, and it's weird because he had a good start, so perhaps a little bit of tilting going on the Radiant side, but Echo Stomp is going to fly out. Star is going to look for a hook, looking to flank them from the sides, but the units will encroach upon them. Now the Elder Titan in range, well within range. Are going to rotate out. Dire side vision does not catch him at this point. They have this ward here. Radiant vision does not catch the Pudge as well, but that Astral Spirit will do so, and it'll back him off for now. Meanwhile, Spectre finding some space has gone for the early Vanguard, and somewhat sensible versus the physical damage of the TA and the Anti-Mage, but still has really stymied her farm and item progression at this point. Something like a Yasha would have helped her farm a little bit quicker. Rancho is going to be spotted out here. Hook shot, it's going to land once again from Star. Echo Stomp will not be there in time. Vengeful Spirit will go down first. ZFY is asleep though, and the Earth Splitter is there. It'll catch him. He's going to get dusted up as well. Elder Titan seems to be all by his lonesome though, and the Death Pulse is going to come through as well. Haunt is there. Echo Stomp, it's going to connect onto 3, and now they are going to get the Necro ult off. It's not going to kill off the Elder Titan. He should die here soon. Dagger is there though, and yeah, no Radiance burn. ZFY, he's going to get off the Shadow Walk. He'll be able to make it away to safety. Spectre still tracked up mid lane. The Dagger, oh, it's going to be just short of killing the Necro. She's going to get hooked up now. Dismember is there as well. Necro, not sure why he doesn't rotate in for a pulse. And there's very few ways he gets killed there if he heals himself up. But Star, playing like exactly that, is going to be able to run down that Spectre. He gets the Urn Chick off as well. He's going to get swapped back. Magic Missile up, but now Rancho, he's in a very precarious position. He'll get hooked up again. Deny from the Pudge with the Rot. TA finds the kill. Star doing work on the Pudge. Level 3 Dagon up, as aforementioned, on the Bounty Hunter. With the Boots of Travel, though, Alchemist starting to find his stride a little bit. Looking to bring down this tier 1 bot lane. He's able to do so with the last hit. He'll pop off the Unstable Concoction. Needs to throw that out before ZFY gets his Shadow Walk off, and will be able to do so. So Chemical Rage, he'll be able to back himself away. 3,200 gold. TP's up to that top lane, and will continue to farm up, and soon we'll be near that relic. But is it a little bit too little too late? On an Alchemist, you expect a relic to be up maybe the 12-minute mark if you're rushing it. With the Boots of Travel, 15 is pretty acceptable as well. So he's not terribly behind, but being an Alchemist, he wants to be in better position. With the Anti-Mage already having this Battle Fury Vlad's up, and he's being out-farmed, and now Elder Titan, he's going to rotate into perhaps his own doom here. Earth Splitter may connect onto 2. It only connects onto the 1. Hookshot finds the Vengeful Spirit. No, and ZFY will be able to chase down the Elder Titan. with the track move speed and the blink. Scuda will secure his safety. They lose the anti-mage meanwhile. Not sure where he dies. Maybe caught by the Earth Splitter there. But anti-mage ended up dying on the backline, so it ends up being actually a favorable trade for the Radiant side. Losing the 2 supports in the Venge and the ET. Unstable Concoction is going to go out. Acid Spray is doing work as well. Haunt is going to come through. Dagger. ZFY is going to go down. Now Scuda's in trouble as well. He's been hit by the Dagger. Acid Spray, no mana for that. And there's no Radiance just yet for APS. They will be able to clean up the Ancient Zone. Jump forward. Melt Strike. Right click. And then Alchemist is going to go down. TP out. Immediate reaction with the Refraction up from Scuda. Well played from the TA to re-engage. Right before the Radiance comes out as well. I mean, Alchemist was sitting on 4,500 gold, so about 500, 600 gold away from that Radiance. He'll be brought down once again, and his timings will further be delayed in this one. So things looking grim now for the Radiant side, 20 minutes into the game. Anti-Mage, see that quest in your battle pass, something like thanks for the time or the space. And yeah, he's going to make that with relative ease here. 171 CS after this camp. And 20 minutes in. The space is appreciated. Something along those lines. But either way, things looking real good all around. Take a look at the hero levels right now. And 3 heroes sitting at level 8. 2 were AFK for quite a while. And you still seems to be AFK on the Sven.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
5v4. Shady, you got more than this, man. Come on. 7, 3, and 5 on the Bounty Hunter. He'll jump along with his comrade in Star to find another kill on the backline. Vengeful Spirit. Acid Spray's not going to go down. The Echo Stomp and the Unstable Concoction will hit on Scuda. Acid Spray cooling down. Now Dagon comes through. Elder Titan is going to die, but the Splitter, it does connect onto the TA. Acid Spray, though, not there to bring her down. She gets earned. Bottled up. Death Pulse is there as well. And they bring down the ET in the meantime. 22-6. Gotta start taking some objectives here if you're the Dire side. Find the hook, the Dagon, the Necro ulti. That's an Ags ult at this point. Wow, Warthog out of nowhere. Well, he completely rushed the Ags, but does pick that up. There's no buyback available for the Alchemist. He's off the map for now. Must have something in his stash. Yeah, Relic is going to be up for APS, but that's a whole minute off the map where he won't be able to farm towards that Radiance recipe. They'll secure the tier 1 mid lane for it. It's a little bit of late tier 1, 22 minutes in, but they'll finally find it. There's 1 tier 1 left over in the off lane, and he does go for the opt for the Yasha now. That's a Spectre, but I mean, feels like a little bit too little too late. They just are not in fighting shape right now, especially being a man down. Yu still hasn't had his items sold,
Radiant's
so
middle tower is under attack.
it's a little bit of an influx of gold to these 4 heroes. And 12k net worth advantage, 14k experience advantage.
Radiant's
Going to come out for the Dire side here. And yeah, they're just going to be content to continue to farm up and widen the gap in terms of their advantage. The Dagon is level 5. For ZFY, and he's going to join up with his Anti-Mage and Star's Pudge, and they're going to eliminate this bottom tier 2 without contest, more than likely. Glyph is available for the Radiant side. It's going to be utilized here, but it doesn't feel like they can really get much done. ZFY, he's going to find the warding up Rancho Vengeful Spirit. Hookshot is going to whiff. They do have the track move speed, though, and the Janata with the phase boots. Should be a dead Venge here. One more right click. Rotation's in, and not there. The Earn Tick is going to finish him off. Elder Titan gonna be spotted by Star here. The Acid Spray is there. Hook is gonna connect. Point blank range. Dagon Shuriken finishing off the ET. That FY just having a field day on this bounty hunter. 9, 3, and 8. Friends, Gaudia has gotten all the space he's desired on this Anti-Mage to eliminate this tier 2 bottom. Meanwhile, top lane, TA is gonna find out the Spectre with the Dispersion and the Vanguard. She's very tanky at this point. And he's unable to use Psyblades to refract onto Spectre. So she will be able to just walk this one off. Pudge, sitting atop the hill. Does not have a sentry, it seems. So is spotted out. And has not been able to deward the Radiant side. That should be dewarded here promptly. Either way. 100 gold away from the Radiance. 25 minutes in. I mean, this is a bad Radiance time for almost any Radiance building hero. If you're going for a second item. So Alchemist certainly not where he wants to be. at this point in the game, but he will pick that up, and it's going to be very nice up against these squishy glass cannon type heroes like the Bounty Hunter, like the Necrophos, who's only gone for the Ags and the Arcane Boots. Hook shot, it's going to find the Spectre. She'll be able to Manta, but they get the right one with the Dismember. Swap back onto the Pudge is actually going to be extremely dangerous for the Venge. She's going to die for it. Stomp is going to catch onto ZFY. The Thunder, or the Earth Splitter will as well. And there's the Unstable Concoction. They do not have vision though. Oh, he'll phase boots out. And he's going to need one more right-click APS will, but he will not get it. ET dies in the meantime. Shuriken is there. ZFY with the balls. Going to turn around. Double kill for War Thug. One of them was an Aghanim's ulti. That's the Elder Titan down on the sidelines. And once again, this lineup not the best at taking objectives after they find the kills, but slowly will whittle away at these outer tier towers. Only 2 remain. One of them will be removed from the map. Yeah, Pudge, Bounty Hunter, Necro, not the greatest pushing heroes, but they'll get it done with the AM. They'll continue to shove in this bot lane.
Middle tower is under attack.
And Shady, you sent me a 4v5, man. Come on, dude. Come on. I mean, you made some plays, but you sent me a 4v5. Kappa. Manta Style gonna come out for the Anti-Mage now. Manta Style was already available for the Spectre. Saw that used when she was hooked up to the high ground tier, but last outer tier tower in a little bit of trouble here. Unstable Concoction gonna go out. Manta Style is used by APS. There's no mana left on this Alchemist, excuse me, and the Mana Void just gonna be used for that easy solo kill. Acid Spray doing some work, and Friends for that reason gonna back off for a second. Travel, whatever that means, coming out from 50 cent. Level 9 at this point, and the advantage is essentially, insurmountable. We'll see how big the throws can possibly be, if at all, from the dire side, ZFY looking to hunt down the Spectre here. May have the damage to bring her down if he holds the Shuriken for the TP. Gonna drop there. We'll get the track, Shuriken, and the Dagon off, and the Manta is there from middle finger. The dagger will be there as well. Death Pulse gonna keep ZFY healthy. She will just be able to phase through the trees though, and despite was able to Manta the track off, so despite that 2-on-1, Spectre will be able to make it out. Dispersion helping out there for sure. Vanguard as well with the tankiness from that Vit booster. So Skuda has the Deso and the Yasha. Not overly farmed for a TA at this point. Decently farmed. What you expect her to have at this point in the game. Get that Deso 15-minute mark, and farm from thereafter is always going to be accelerated, especially if you prepare yourself some ancient stacks. So Skuda having a pretty good game. Made a real nice re-engage there by the side shop, secret shop cliff over here for the Radiant side. So really most of the Dire lineup playing well. They are playing, of course, 4v5 Ming Li. So life is easy. Jump forward from the AM. He's going to pop the Manta off, feeling a little bit scared as he jumps into the base, really without vision. Too deep. Had the vision around this area, but it is nighttime, of course, so didn't know what lurked in the shadows behind that Spectre, and we'll just Manta up, throw the illusions in. Gets a full Basher up now. Very safe play from the Dire side, all things considered. Sven still holding on to his treads and Bracer, so sell him up, guys. We'll go for Roche at this point, really looking to secure this one. ZFY has picked himself up a Ghost Scepter. Looks like it's going to be an Octarine for War Thug to come out at some point. Could, of course, be a Bloodstone. Seems like the less likely of the two. In a lot of ways, Octarine has replaced Bloodstone on most of those heroes, aside from perhaps the Storm Spirit, who doesn't really benefit too much from the CDR. So bot lane once again going to be shoved in by the Anti-Mage, and they're going to assemble as 5 here. Well, they'll look to finally take their first lane of racks with the Aegis in hand. Aegis is up on... Oh, okay, Alchemist is dead. Haunt is going to be expended, but they're not going to jump through just yet. Stomp will catch 2. Earth Splitter is there as well. Anti-Mage perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Will be caught out by it, and he will be able to blink out, swap back onto the Necrophos. He's in no man's land right now. Will be able to get the Death Pulse off, though. The Shuriken will bounce through. Dagon, Janata right click. They'll bring down another ZFY, though. He's going to burn his Aegis in the Acid Spray. Now the Anti-Mage gets a first hit bash. There's a hook shot. It's going to find the Spectre as well as the Anti-Mage blinks out. Mana Void will be there, but there was a lot of mana still on the Spectre. They need another blink forward. The Urn Tick will be there. Anti-Mage looking for it. As the Bounty Hunter goes down, Manta will be able to secure him the kill. He's going to have to blink away from APS. Magic Missile will be there. Onto Star. The Radiance burning down the Pudge as well. He'll be able to rot walk down the Vengeful, though. So far, it's going to be a 3 for 4 if you include the Aegis. And it's going to be a pretty successful high ground defense with the Radiance, with the Acid Spray, the nice 2-man Stomp and Splitter onto 1 by the ET. And they had the swap as well, so ends up being a good fight for the Radiant side. Unable to get to that fight recap. See if I can get to that fight recap. See what the damage is in terms of the metrics, but pretty damn good fight. 30 minutes in, they get nothing out of it. They lose an Aegis, so respecting the high ground with that Roshan attempt, and it seems like it was warranted at this point. Haunt plus the Radiance, they do bring down the Spectre, but she still gains a net 1,300 gold, net 1,700 gained by the Vengeful Spirit, and buyback utilized on the Alk. So it was a 4 for 4 essentially if you include the Aegis on the Bounty Hunter, who went down twice, but no one really losing gold except the Necro. So overall 1,400 net swing. Most of that is in the hands of the Vengeful Spirit. A good amount of experience bounty as well gone over to the Radiant, but doesn't feel like in any sense they are necessarily back into the game. And wisely so, the Dire side will just assemble right back up. Say they've used Haunt, they've used the Earth Splitter. Let's just walk right back up the high ground and take this tier 3, and they'll do so for free at this point. Put a little bit of damage into both racks, and wow, they finally just realizing that Sven is AFK. It's been a while since they figured that out. Hook shot gonna connect onto Rancho, and Star at this point, Godlike gonna try and TP out versus the Desolate damage. The Unstable Concoction will be there. The Lotus Orb is as well, but Pudge should die if he's not able to deny himself, and he will. To the Radiance this side. 1,000 gold going the way of the Alk. Big bounty for the Alchemist there, and Pudge a little bit far forward by his Lonesome. His Anti-Mage backed off. He stuck around, found the kill on the Venge, but too near to the enemy base. E-Blade Dagon up for ZFY, and he is going to be spotted though. Stable Concoction is there. Track comes out, and E-Blade was there after the Dagon from ZFY. Slight misplay from him. He'll be brought down underneath the Sentry. Not sure that he kills the Alchemist off with the E-Blade first, but definitely would have been close. Meanwhile, mid lane, Manta not going to be used to dodge the Unstable Concoction. It's going to be used now, but the Stomp is there onto Friends. He gets the Mana Void off, but Alchemist just does not have all that mana, much mana, excuse me, in the first place. So Mana Void not going to do too much work against him, and Anti-Mage will have to back himself off for now. Probably going to be going for that Moon Shard here, but Spectre doing a ton of work with the Desolate and Diffusal Blade. Dagger's going to come through now, but will be just short of the Anti-Mage. He'll be able to back himself out. Moon Shard going to be completed up now by the Anti-Mage, and pretty admirable defense. Of course, they're getting a little bit of extra gold having that one abandoned player.
Radiant's
I mean, is he even abandoned though? It doesn't even show him disconnected, so very interesting to say the least. His gold is being immediately pulled away, so he is abandoned at this point. Hook shot, not gonna catch anything of significance at this point. Pipe gonna be picked up by the ET. It's a great item, especially versus this Bounty Hunter build right now. So gonna need the physical damage of the TA to perhaps show itself in some of these engagements. It's been a little bit quiet for the TA thus far, and her farm has been a little docile, as I've mentioned. I mean, it's not been through the roof. It's not been poor either, but we'll see if the TA is actually able to get anything done. She does have the Desolator for her squad, so gonna be nice for the push here. Anti-Mage shoving in bot lane in the meantime. Echo Stomp not going to be used just yet. Just going to be doing a little bit of scouting. It is going to catch 2 on the edge. They're going to be able to force forward the TA as well. She gets the Unstable Concoction off. The Lotus Orb is there. E-Blade going to try and keep her safe, but the swap back, she's going to have to meld. You're underneath the tower, Scuda. They see you and you are dead. The hook shot will land onto the ET. Dismember is there. The Necro ult will not kill him off. Oh, it does with the Dagon. So it looked like the Dagon actually killed him and the Necro ulti didn't proc with the extra death timer, but that ends up being the case. ET gonna be the only casualty though as the Necro goes down. Lotus Orb is there trying to TP out is the Pudge, and he will be able to do so. Jumping through with the Dagon and the Shuriken is ZFY, but now they've seen him. And yeah, dusted up, brought down. Another successful base defense from the Radiant side, 4v5. They do end up losing their bot racks though. Anti-Mage doing work ratting in the meantime. So completely absent from that fight. They expend a lot on the TA deep in the base. Then they look to chase more, and the Anti-Mage does do some work in the meantime. So he'll bring down that lane of racks. It's going to be a pretty significant pickup here. They do have the Radiance Alchemist, so he deals with Megas very well. They would have had a Sven who also deals with Megas, so it wouldn't have been the biggest deal. Radiance may be coming out for the Spectre sometime soon as well with the 3800, but see if she ends up opting for something else like a Scotty or a Butterfly, already having the Radiance on their side. Abyssal Blade going to be completed up by the Anti-Mage, and no one inbound. I mean, they have a tier 1 mid and no one is TPing to help out this Pudge. So he's going to be brought down for free from the Alchemist. Now the TP's coming in rather late. Anti-Mage has an Abyssal though. Jump forward. He's going to Abyssal up the Alchemist, and he'll be able to burn him down very quickly. The swap's going to be super short range, but he misses the Mana Void because of it. They do get the gem though, which is going to be nice for ZFY. He needs to get in range for this Dagon hit, and this Ionic Trap should help him out with that. One Meld Strike, one more right click. Alk goes down. Holds onto that Unstable Concoction a little too long. Manta off the track though, and now Middle Finger doing work against the TA, but they've lost their gem, so they cannot see it. Earth Splitter will not connect on anyone, but the dust is up onto ZFY. Meanwhile, Necro ulti not gonna do all that much. Looks like it was popped off on the ET as the Necro just died. Panic ulti coming out from him. Vengeful and Alk were already dead, and you see no icon there. So probably just popped it off on the ET, trying to get away. Track is up onto the Spectre. She can manta it off in any moment as she so pleases. So they got to deal with their base though. The tier 4s are being chipped away at. Spectre going to come back to base. Well off for Necro books. Interesting build. She doesn't even have travels, so not sure when she's going to be able to use these Necro books, but it will give her the True Sight onto the Bounty Hunter once it's level 3 in. It's going to be picked up in the base sometime soon. Jump forward, swap is there onto ZFY. There's a Magic Missile as well. Wave of Terror. Dust. Hook shot, though, will not only kill off the Venge, it'll save ZFY as well. Star has been almost MVP caliber along with his Bounty Hunter in this one. And TA and Anti-Mage pulling their weight here, but just they've had so much space because of these supports that it'd be impossible to see them not doing work in this one. Mega Creeps are secured. Top lane, Abyssal Blade is going to be there. It looks like the beginning of the end. E-Blade, Shuriken, Dagon. There's the combo in the right order. And the Spectre will be down 75 plus seconds. No buyback. TA is probably going to be chased down here by APS. And Refraction will not save you from that, but Alk with his ET, Natural Order is there as well. Lotus Orb is going to be a little bit late. Echo Stomp does connect onto the Necrophos. The Earth Splitter should as well. And it'll bring the Necro into his death. Meanwhile, though, that FY just right-clicking away onto the towers. Tier 4 is in a bit of trouble. Has a Veil as well. Maybe just wants to kill off this ET. It's going to get dusted up. Yep, throws toward the Dagon E-Blade, but not enough. Magic Missiles there. Unstable Concoction. ZFY is down for the 7th time in this one, and 12, 7, and 15, still pretty good. Comeback does not seem real at all, despite TAs all chatting. Jump forward with the Abyssal Blade and the Dismember. Nice swap out, though, from the Vengeful Spirit. She'll pay with it with her life, pay for it with her life, and APS will be bashed up. Hookshot will not connect. APS going to be able to rotate out for now. Jump forward. Unstable Concoction, throw it out onto an Illusion. Hook is there. APS in trouble. Octarine, though, healing him up with the Radiance Burn. And the Anti-Mage, for some reason, just did not chase forward. Haunt is going to be there as well. And the Pudge will be brought down here finally, but tier 4s have been forfeit at this point. And as mentioned before, they deal decently with these megas, so... Level 2 Diffusal Blade, level 3 Necro Book up for Spectre, but seems like the beginning of the end at this point. I mean, they have an anti-mage. They can essentially just heal him up with a Necro and throw bodies at this Ancient, which is not the healthiest.
Haste!
Scooter's gonna pick up that full Daedalus. Just that extra bit of firepower to bring this one home.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
ZFY stalking the Alchemist
Radiant's
at this
Ancient
point.
is under attack.
While the units are doing work and no one seems to notice it. They've done, in fact, quite a bit of work. Alchemist pretty much can't leave the base at this point. Maybe the only hero that has the capability to do so is this Spectre, who can haunt in. But jump forward, Mel Strike, right click, Manta's going to be there. Psionic Trap is going to whiff. APS, meanwhile, he's going to find the Necrophos, but the Necrophos finds him back. And it's going to be a 120-second death with no buyback, and that's pretty much game. So let's just take a look at the Alchemist here. Beating himself away to the Necro. What did Necro kill him with? I mean, Octarine Core? There must have been some support. Perhaps along with ZFY, who was stalking the Alchemist, as we mentioned earlier. Of course, the Radiance Burn is going to make it a little bit difficult for him to do so, but... Necrophos going to catch him with the Death Pulse. The track is there, so definite contribution from the Bounty Hunter is going to be coming soon. Death Pulse comes as well. E-Blade is going to be there. He mantas it off. Dagon's actually going to catch an Illusion, and he begins to right-click away on Thug. Thug will throw it off, and somehow with the Aghanim's, they're able to bring down APS, and that seals the deal for Shady and his crew. ZFY on the BH, 3rd overall on net worth. Sure, a highlight game to say the least, but 4v5, I don't quite buy it. Thank you so much, of course, shady25111 for the game. Next time, give me a 5v5. I'll be happy to cast it for you. 40 minutes and 15 seconds in. Dire side gonna take this one and able to beat out the OS Frog Spectre with no OS Frog heroes. Maybe Pudge an OS Frog hero, but didn't even go for the Aether Lens build. So either way, nicely played by them. MRP, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster here, casting some viewer requested games. If you want to throw me one, guys, tweet me at MRP Dota. I'll get around to it, excuse me, as soon as possible. Right now, though, sitting on about 60 games to get through, so got another 2, 3, 4 today. Seeing we'll see, pending how I feel, and appreciate you guys for joining me. This one will be up on YouTube fairly soon, and we'll be on to the next one in just a moment. Just going to take a small break and leave you at the waiting screen.